Hey everybody, welcome to Tai Chi to the People. I'm Coach Jan. We got Sam here with us for the Philippines, and we are going to today talk about the Tai Chi Stomp. And this happens in push hands sometimes. And when I say it happens, I mean sometimes people choose to do it. And I recall someone that I played with, and you may know what I'm talking about here. You're doing push hands with somebody, just you and them, and they get pushed off balance, and they might jump back and stomp. A jump back and stomp. Someone once last year, might have been the year before, suggested that the stomp had a martial value or a training value. And whatever the explanation was, I don't remember what it was, but I remember that it didn't make any sense. And this is what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that how to lose balance is so important. And I always recommend learning how to break fall. Judo, break falling, wrestling, whatever, however you learn how to hit the ground and to get a relationship with connecting to the ground with your full body, to laying the full body on the ground safely. One of the most important things for people of all ages, especially those who are elderly, to learn. Sam just said, Stomp can break a lock or use, let's see, Sam, could you say that? It says taunt strike, add power. I want to, I just added you, Sam. So I'm interested in the perspective of why someone would stomp. And once again, I'm clarifying that this is for push hands and push hands competition and grappling competition. Strategically, it doesn't make any sense to stomp if you are playing a competition where you're either grappling or doing push hands. So as a reminder for those who are watching that that this is, I emphasize push hands for the sport and push hands to bridge into practical martial arts. So there are moments where stomping makes total sense martially, but stomping as a sign of you losing balance to me does not make much sense. And I want to show an alternative of when you do lose balance, of what some things to focus on. And so here, and if I had a partner, it would be more of a, just imagine someone here pushing me. So if I'm being pushed and I'm being pulled off of my front leg, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about maintaining the space that you want, which is oftentimes going to be in the front. If you're double weighted, meaning you're playing here, I don't coach that style of play, but I will say that the last thing I think any of us want, if you are playing fixed step push hands, is to have a foot lift off the ground because you lose the point. If you are grappling and you're being, let's say, doing moving step push hands, and you're being moved to the edge of the ring, you want to do your best to maintain the connection to the ground. So at any given point, when I played gone against a player who will jump back and stomp the ground in moving step, this is again a unintentional giving up of space. And so the perspective that we're approaching Tai Chi from here for Tai Chi push hands is to be incredibly intentional with all your decisions. And those decisions come into your flow state. So those who might talk about, oh, okay, this is Tai Chi, but this isn't Tai Chi. You might differentiate. If you were to differentiate, what I'm getting at is that all the intention here, every single moment of this move is intentional. Every single moment. So if applying that to your footwork. So if you're finding yourself being pushed off, of course, your feet, your toes might grab into the ground. That's a natural thing that might happen. But we want to go with those natural instincts. In fact, we want to take those natural instincts and drill down on them. That's one of Grandmaster William C.C. Chen's, I think, one of his greatest contributions to Tai Chi as an art form. is rather than exhaling on a push, he's inhaling on a push to agree with the lungs taking space, with the expansion as you expand into an opponent. I'm not saying you should do that all the time. I'm saying that that perspective has value to it. And the perspective of going with the natural mechanics of the body. As you're being pushed up, you might be grabbing with the toes. So when I say we want to drill down, I literally mean start to visualize drilling the toe into the ground, toe that's being pushed away. The body's being pulled, the toe is being pulled, body's being pushed, the toe is being pulled from its stance. And notice that my foot is dragging. This foot is dragging. So you might lose the point there if you're on playing a particular competition, or you may be playing competition where lifting the toe is the thing that needs to happen for you to lose that point. So what I'm getting at is here on this angle, bringing yourself back into that leg as much as possible. Pulling yourself back in. That pull is catalyzed by breath work and visualization. So we have the three nails, the concept we keep talking about, the heel, the ball of the foot, the big toe, three imaginary hollow nails that jab into the ground, that clamp in, especially the heel, which is symbolically the anchor of both feet. So when you find yourself being pushed off, exhaling maybe, even someone trying to roll your shoulders over your hips, that might happen. Do your best to angle your body, even a little bit, and twist up as much of that pressure as possible that you might be feeling from a push. Someone's got two palms, one on each shoulder, one on top of the chest, rolling you back. You might have your hands on their elbows or on their triceps, something, and you're twisting up. Now notice what's happening on my hips here. I'm going to stand a little more the height and the light. Twisting up, and I still have this connection with my toes into the ground. My feet might be sliding, but I'm doing my best to take the pressure and bring it up here. I want the pressure to go up and out. I want the energy to go up and out. So I'm doing my best to get it up here. And while I'm starting to direct the energy upward, I still have that connection here. I'm very aware of it. And I inhale and pull myself in, or I might exhale and drop into it. One or the other, the inhalation or the exhalation, they are not the same, but they catalyze, and you want to use them to catalyze. The inhalation to pull yourself in, the exhalation to drop down and twist in, doing as best as you can to maintain that position in a worst case scenario of you being right on that red line, being pushed off and losing the balance. And if you do lose the balance, really dragging yourself back. Just allow yourself to step back and to come right back forward. And the reason we're doing a step back rather than a jump and a stomp here, you're not stomping and letting your opponent know that something happened, because martially, you want us to be able to, if I gave this up, step back, boom, and come right into your striking. If you're getting moved out of a distance, the grappling distance, then you may want to start striking. And if someone's pushing you back, really being able to come into your hands and your feet as well, and really set up, step back, rocking, kicking. There's so many different options, so many different options here. Well, what I'm getting at is that you want to make sure that you have the behaviors that bridge together, that chain together. You want to chain these movements so that you get into a position of strength, even at the loss of space. So once again, you're playing push hands here. If you're playing the style that I recommend here on this channel, you're keeping 70% of your weight forward. 70% of your weight forward, playing with someone. Someone hits you with a hard blast, maybe a double press on the chest or the shoulders, and they're pushing you up. It might be unexpected. If it's unexpected, you might find that some tension gathers in your lower back as you try to maintain your posture and your position here. And all of a sudden, you keep on getting moved off that front foot, and that toe might even start to drag. You might be locked into this back leg. Very, very challenging scenario. So do your best to lift up, bring that pressure outward as much as you can. They may be trying to drop the pressure onto your chest. That's totally possible. There's so many different possibilities that can happen here because we're doing push hands, and in the moment, things change. So we're up, 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 up. Do your best to clamp back in. Now look what's happening with my foot. If I'm inhaling and I connect, you connect as you would like, the chain reaction of events that happen from inhalation or exhalation. I'm recommending one right now. As I'm inhaling, I'm bending my knee. I'm bending this knee a bit, and I'm intentionally aligning the knee and the toe. I want to connect the dots between the knee and the toe immediately. So up, up, up. I don't want to get pulled up, pushed off. Boom, I connect those dots. And now I have the half of my alignment between toe, knee, nose. Toe, knee, nose. This was the original 70% forward positioning that we were playing in. And you get pushed off of it. Oh no, you're bringing the pressure upward, and then you connect the toe and the knee. Once you have that connection, it becomes easier for your body, especially if you're training the body and the mind. If you're training these alignment concepts within your body on a regular basis, once you find your comfort zone of returning to even a fraction of it, it's going to be so much easier for you to return to the 100% version of it. So this is part of regaining balance. I'm putting myself up, connect in, and then you might have to fight for that position. You may have to push the opponent, pull the opponent, but you're pulling them into your alignment. You want to get yourself back to that 70% forward in terms of weight distribution, 70% of your weight forward on that front leg. You're grappling 50-50 clinch, whatever posture you want to have from here, whatever game you want to play in your style of push hands, being able to have this dominant position, because it very much is, can be a dominant position. And another note from here, if you exhale, if you're going to exhale even more and drop into, let's say, the back leg, or drop into the front leg but not connect the toe and the knee, that can work as well. What we'll call that is loading. Being able to load yourself on the back leg so that you can spring forward and push up, or spring on an angle, or spring and pull. The back leg is great. It's a great position to be in, even in a worst case scenario, as long as you have the control to maintain it and use it strategically. So again, we're here and we're imagining someone, and if you're doing this with a partner, you'll play with them. One partner will push on the shoulders and move the other partner back. We don't want to give up this front leg, but sometimes it happens suddenly. Explosive push pushes you back. My tension in my lower back that I didn't want, because all of a sudden I'm thrown into this posture. Using my arms to create a pressure circuit, I'm redirecting, channeling that pressure upward. If you look at the rooting drill, some of the other videos of the rooting drill, just search for it if you're not aware of it already. But I'm lifting up, and it's almost as if as I lift my opponent's arms, I'm pulling them up to push myself into the stance of this back leg. So I'm pushing myself into the ground by lifting up. Their pressure will likely keep on going downward, which is helping me stay rooted and maintain my connection, so I don't lose that connection, lose the point. This is the moment, oftentimes, where you'll see that person who likes to jump back and stomp, give up. You don't need to give up. That's the whole point. The whole point of this is that if you do lose your position, losing it gracefully and strategically so that you can move on to another posture, position, strike, etc. But if you just jump back and stomp, there's a lot of things, a lot of challenges with that, especially with you putting effort and energy into a downward explosive movement, which is a whole other school of thought, whole other conversation. So use this to push yourself in. You might see this in your Tai Chi forms. There, it happens a few times in Wu style. Here we go. So we have here and drop. And this gentle throwing of the hand, throwing the lute. Forgot the name of it. Forgot the Tai Chi name of it. But the bottom line is that this posture happens in every form that I do. The Wu style, we have this wonderful energizing of the fingertips. I inhale, draw the color in through the fingertips into the lower dantian. I let the fingers pull the body. Inhaling, the fingers pulling the body. Going across. Really, really beautiful and wonderful experience. Also happens in the reverse breathing yang style. Right here, letting it pass through. Grandmaster William Chen made an adjustment for me last year, and the adjustment is just one hand doing it. So inhale, one hand, boom. Inhaling up, back down, one hand coming across. Same concept though, that one hand coming across, also in the Luha Bafa Yang style Tai Chi hybrid, the water boxing form, the hybrid water boxing form. Here, where we're doing these wonderful cloudy hands, this jabbing, throwing cloudy hands, flicking the person off, also can be used as a drill into the rib cage. But right after you finish that wonderful series, inhaling and up, this gentle toss aside. These gentle tosses, the only reason I'm focusing on them is because you're lifting and pushing yourself into the ground at the same time. And the push is subtle, so it's not a drop. And this drop is an important way to do squats. This little drop to help you with your push hands. Really, really great. Again, throwing the tailbone back, Tony nose, alignment. That's awesome. But here it's more subtle. This gentle lift, the gentle drop. I can feel myself, as my fingers go up, I can feel my pressure increase into the ground. So, again, feeling the pressure coming up, pushing yourself into the ground. You can either toe, knee, nose, get 50% of it, toe and knee. Use my inhalation to pull me back. I might have to really turn the shoulders, turn the hip to get that and to slide in like a blade into that front leg. Or if I use the back leg, exhaling and loading from the front angle. Just look at how that load feels. I'm loading. I may or may not square up my hips. That's not as important as making sure that you're aligning your heart to the center line of the opponent, wherever they are. So when you do that load, you drop down and get that heart there so that you can really push them up, or push and pull, or go for an arm drag, whatever you're doing. Get your sense of alignment, the personal sense of alignment, first and foremost, and being able to make those definitions for yourself of what that alignment means to you. You already have your imaginary strength lifting you from the top of the head, feeling the tailbone drop. So we normally do that when we start. Today we didn't. Doing one uplifting heaven just to get a little more of that alignment in. So just switching legs so you can get another perspective of it. Here we are, push on the shoulders, coming back, that toe is dragging. Visualize that color into the toes. Either inhaling or exhaling as the toes are grabbing on the ground. Try to minimize the grab. What I mean by that is that the same way we're not grabbing hard with the fingers, maybe we'll snatch for a second, but we don't maintain hard grabs for too long and push hands in Tai Chi. Similarly with the toes, if you find yourself pressing the toes into the ground with that, like trying to hold on, soften just a bit, not limp, but soften the connection so that you can really shoot the visualization through it and feel almost like a suction cup. Then coming right back in, pull yourself right back in. And a wonderful exercise to pull yourself back in that we've done in the past, but I'm going to do it again now because this all connects, is jolting from the 8 pieces of brocade. The jolting exercise with the feet, I'm only standing here because we have a whole bunch of Christmas stuff and giveaway stuff behind me, so I want you to get the full outline using the door. The jolting is when you go onto the toes. It looks like a calf raise, but the visualization and the breath work is what changes this exercise. And it's so important for this moment right here, because you're going to use the same mechanic that we're going to work on right here. And remember, the mechanic is not just the body mechanic, it's the mental and breath work chain that you are building subtly on your own by repetition on a regular basis. Inhale to the lower dantian. Exhale, push the color down the legs into the ground and go onto your toes, making sure to keep the weight on the inside of the leg, not the outside, but on the inside, so the pressure is distributed like a pyramid, pressing in, helping to give you a stronger foundation. You will also want to make sure that the two nails on the feet are connected when you have the heel up, because the heel is the third nail. So you have the ball of the foot and big toe. You want that pressure pushing very, very intensely. I'm going to just drop this camera down so we can focus on this a little bit more dynamically. Visually. So check this out. All right. So here we are. We're going to exhale, keeping the weight on the inside of the leg. And notice that my ankles don't angle outward. They stay in. So you're going to work that stability. You're going to work all those stabilizing muscles. And when you inhale, you're going to pull, the breath will pull the heel into the ground. So that nail, that imaginary hollow nail, is going to clamp into the ground. And notice that my knees, they're not locked and they're not bent hard. It's a slight bend. So I'm going to exhale, going up, inhale, pull the feet in. And this is an entire circuit. I'm inhaling into the belly. When I exhale, I push the color down the legs, visualizing it going specifically through the big toe and the balls of the feet into the ground. My other toes are engaged, they are working, so that the emphasis is on the big toe. And when I inhale, I pull myself back in. When you inhale, it's as if it's like you're pulling your pants up. So the color visualization is actually like a circuit. Exhale, push the color visualization down into the ground, and the heels go up. Inhale, pull the color visualization up, as if there's gum on the heels. There's a connection between that color visualization on the heels, so that when you inhale, it loops around. From the heel, I'm going to use my hand, so this is as if it's a paintbrush. It's going to loop around and come up. So around and up, around and up, around and up. The breath work visualization coming around and up. Here it is again. Exhaling down to the ground. Inhale, the heels pull in, and the breath work is coming up the leg, the visualization back into the lower dantian. Very important. And this is the speed at which you normally do it. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. You always want to feel like you're pulling yourself back into the ground. And now here's how it works with the exercise we were just talking about. So we have the push, knocked off this back foot, maybe it drags a little bit. Inhale, I pull myself back into it. I'm pushing myself into the ground by lifting up, lifting my opponent up. My hands are going to go out of frame here. And maybe my toe is up, my heel is up on this front leg. That's how hard I'm getting pushed. And I use that same visualization that we just did to inhale and clamp my heel into the ground. Big moment. Tying it all together. Inhale, clamp my heel into the ground. Toe, knee, and then I don't have the nose yet. I'm going to have to fight for that and get into it. If I use the back leg, exhale, toe, knee, nose. Look at that. I have all right here, that one alignment. But I still exhale, softening the hip, find that alignment, and then work your way into that front leg as much as you can so you can get back the ground that you've lost. So, what we're really talking about here is making sure that you can regain your position, and that if you were to give up your position, that you give up your position intentionally and strategically. So if you do the stomp, really, maybe you're not doing push hands competition, or maybe you're not grappling with folks outside of Tai Chi. And I really highly recommend to question the martial viability of anything and everything that you do, because the martial viability and the flow state, spiritual aspects of it, they're all really intertwined in my experience. And cautious of habits. I always recommend caution of habits and what habits you bring into your martial experience, your how you move about the world. So I'm hoping that this is valuable for those who might be doing the stomp, and those who don't do the stomp and say, hey, that's BS. What are you guys doing over there? I hope that you guys see that this is an alternative perspective on it, and a alternative to making regaining your balance in these situations. So with that said, we're going to do a few more exercises just to cool down, to stretch out and cool down before we finish today. It's a short session, short video today. Palms facing down, imaginary string lifting you up. Tailbone dropping down, 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 down. Mouth closed, tongue on the ceiling of the mouth. Inhaling up, breath. Exhale, wash the color with the palm of the fingertips. Inhaling up, draw the color in to the belly. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale with the thumb. The thumb pulls the body. Exhale, softening, going into, notice I'm softening, really bending, pelvis rotating on the femur, tailbone dropping. And now, inhale, inflate the tricep and lead it with the index finger. The thumb can be utilized as well, but mostly the index finger. Exhaling down, down, down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Now look what I'm doing with the other hand. It's not just dead. We're going to activate it intentionally. I'm going to reach. You can reach with just the other index finger. You can reach with the index finger and thumb. You can add the middle finger. You do the whole hand, or you can add the pinky. Inhale. Inhale. Exhaling down. Inhale. You might be asking, why are we doing this? This mechanic is very, very helpful with the same concept that we were just talking about. Lifting and pushing yourself to the ground. It's also helpful with cranking someone over the leg, as if you're doing diagonal flying, a very particular version of diagonal flying. To throw someone over the leg. Look at how the thumb leads here. The breathwork and visualization connects everything to the body. Or if you're doing a hook, hooking. Really getting this heart alignment, the hand and the fist. Right here, we're using the index finger. And there's so many different variations of this, but very, very important. Exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. And the reason you reach is because you want to connect the fingers to fingers. You want to connect all the way. And of course, the toes to the fingers. So I'm pressing my big toe into the ground, big toe to the ground. Exhale, softening back into the heels. But as I soften into the heels, notice the creasing in my pelvis rotating on the femur, the crease deepening here. So the weight shifting to the heels a bit. And then I press the big toes into the ground as I come up. Exhaling down, inhale. So the emphasis shifts to the heels, inhale. And now let's switch sides. Exhaling down, inhale. Exhale, inhale. These are very, very subtle reverse breathing Tai Chi mechanics. Inhaling for the expression of the strike or the throw rather than an exhale. And again, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm saying that the mechanics of each are very particular. All right. Feet 2 fists apart. Inhale, breathless the wrists. Fingers reach to the back wall. Chest to the ceiling. Hips forward, wiggle the toes. Exhale, butt back. Then knees inhale, yeah. Fingers back, chest up. Hips forward, wiggle the toes. Exhale, butt back. Soften knees inhale, yeah. And 1 foot forward. Exhale, yeah. Inhale, yeah. Switch. Inhaling out 45 degrees, exhale. Inhaling out 45 degrees, exhale. And now you're doing 90 degrees. So that just means make sure there's an L shape. One toe, group of toes this way, one group of toes this way. Exhaling down. Inhaling out, switch. Exhale. Inhaling out. And bring 1 foot behind and exhale. Inhaling out and switch. Exhale. Inhaling out. And just turn. Keeping the feet parallel. Arms gently banging on the kidneys, liver, spleen. Head facing forward. And then release one leg. Keep the eyes looking forward, locked on one point. Feel that imaginary string lifting from the top of the head while you're doing this, so you can find your alignment. And now we're going to adjust, dropping down that same crease we were talking about before, dropping down and up, down and up. Eyes stay forward. And now we're going to release the head and look behind you, either to the side or behind, as much as you want to go. And then bring it back to just side to side. Now, recognize the head is still moving with the chest and the waist. So the head moves now. Feel that imaginary string lift you up. And then stay stationary with the feet. And keep the head moving with the body. And relaxing. And we're going to swing fingers up and forward. You're going to flick the fingers as they get to the apex of either side. And we'll do a little bounce in the knees. So every 5, 3, 4, 5, and a bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that little bounce right here, a little flick in the fingers. It's right at the apex. Again, apex here and flicking here, flicking here, flicking here. When you do the arm drag, the Tai Chi style arm drag, same type of flick, boom, right here. And all that coordinated with the body. All of it happening right here, that flick. So we're just doing it at a different angle. 3, 4, 5. And rub the hands together around the chest. Inhale to lower down chin, draw the color into your belly. And exhale, really push the color through the palms into the chest as you do this. Get that visualization going for yourself. Inhale to the belly. And exhale, push through the palms into the chest. Push the color like it's a hose shooting out. You want to shoot the visualization out. Shoot the heat into your chest. Very intentional. And then we want the same thing using the knuckles, these two knuckles when we punch. you push the color through these two knuckles about an inch or two beyond. So when we massage here, same thing. Inhale to the lower dantian, and then massage the kidney and lower back. Not just with the knuckles and the circular motion, the pressure, but with the color visualization too. Inhaling deep and exhale, wash the color through the knuckles into the point of the body that you're massaging. Go all the way down, massage, massage, and then up. And then reverse the circles, other direction. And recognize that there's a lot of things happening here at once to make this really work and really a deep experience for yourself. Because you have to keep the rhythm of the movement. You have to keep the pressure going into the muscles and into the organs so that you get that nice massage. And then you have to coordinate the breath with it. And this is these little moments are great tests of your ability to visualize within combination. What I mean by that is here's over combination, jab, cross, hook, uppercut. And how do you coordinate your breath so that you are either pushing the color out or inhaling, drawing the color in on an expansion? That is up to you, but there's a process to do it. And this is another example of taking the same type of process and putting it here, because you have all these little circles and each one of them doesn't have to be a breath, but you want to coordinate how many, and it doesn't have to be a strict number, but this might be an inhalation for these 5, and the next 5 might be an exhalation. I'm pushing the color in for another 5. And then I'm inhaling, pulling the color into the belly for 5, and I'm exhaling, pushing the color to the knuckles for 5. Again, all this stuff is about you defining the visualization, the rhythm, the coordination of how you connect intention to every single movement or to a series of movements, and how you catalyze your breath, even if it's one multi-stage inhalation, just like we do here. Inhale, inhale even deeper, inhale even deeper, inhale even deeper, exhale. 4-stage inhalation. There are 4-stage exhalations as well. So just being able to have those multi-stage experiences while you're massaging yourself, very, very important, because you want to find all the different moments in your day that you can give yourself the training, the mental, spiritual, physical, connecting training. So thank you guys so much. Inhale deep just to finish up. White line to the belly, spread the whole body. Use the sound to wash the bone marrow with this sound, with the light. White line to the belly and feel it tingle through the body. Feel that, pay attention. Whether or not you're into meditating or chanting, etc., pay attention to the vibration that the sound is making in your body. Because the more you can pay attention to that, the greater listening ability that you have martially. So inhale into the belly and exhale. Pay attention to the vibration going through every part of the body, every organ, bone, muscle, cell. And one more time, again, feel as deeply as you can, and it'll take time. Feel as deeply as you can the vibration going through the skin. It's coming from the throat, but it's going through the whole body. It's going through the whole room. Feel as much of it as you can, even if it's bouncing on the walls as well. Deep gratitude for the body, the space you're in, the good people in your life. Sending so much love to you guys for the holidays. I think this is, I will not see you before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And Merry Christmas, Sam. And happy holidays overall, whether or not you celebrate Christmas. To all of you, sending so much love to you guys. And let's add Sam on that pin. Thank you, man. And Sam, any thoughts, questions, or ideas before we finish?
For now, no. Merry Christmas to all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Okay. Love you.
Just send messages. Okay.
Okay. So have a great day. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.